We're going to talk commercial real estate right now, joined by Justin Harlow from Boston Realty Advisors. Justin, thanks for stopping by.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
Let's talk about the landscape of the commercial side of things in Boston. The WeWorks of the world are really kind of pushing the limits of how companies rent space.
They certainly are. It's been a big change in the market over the last, say, 24 to 30 months. And it's surprising how they've kind of dominated the market with market share. And companies of these days, being small to large companies, are really putting that on the WeWorks on their list because they can offer them flexibility in their lease term and also pretty much give them space relatively immediately.
And you have these companies that are coming in that are, maybe small capital that have like 10 to 20 employees, and then they get around to funding, and 20 turns into 100 pretty quickly.
Very quickly. And it's not just happening rarely, it's happening pretty often. So companies like, what am I trying to do? Where am I trying to be in 6 months? What's happening in 12 months? Do I sign a 3-year deal? Do I go to WeWork for 12 months and then reestablish? And do I have to wait for the market to rise in another 12 months? What am I going to do? So there's all these questions, and that's where the WeWorks and the Industriuses and the Reguses of the world are really kind of taking that and going with it in the fact of, hey, we can help you through that. We can even build out a space for you.
And that also has to be kind of pushing the limits on the traditional landlord, right? And how they think through their contracts. And people have probably been very successful for a long time leasing space, but this seems like it's completely disrupting that thought. You have to adjust.
It is. So the institutionals and the private landlords, rents are still rising, vacancy's still low, there's transactions that are still happening, but it is a trend that they need to adjust now because they are going to eventually lose tenants in the market that are exploring their space to these users out there of the co-working environment, and they need to figure out, hey, how can we combat that? And a lot of the trend right now is building out spec suites. So, hey, what else can we do to get these companies into our space? We've got these amenity centers, we've got these spec suites, we've got this cool creative space. How can we get them in here? Hey, let's do a 2-year deal for them. So there's a lot of landlords that are thinking that way just to make sure that they can attract those tenants to their buildings.
And for the group that's getting that funding that's growing quickly, that's probably a much more attractive way to do it than locking themselves into a traditional 5-year lease or whatever the terms are.
It is. I mean, the other day, at the end of the day, it comes down to, do you want to be in a co-working environment where you've got all these different companies sitting in one space, or do you want your own designated office that you can brand, create, and do, and have an image for your business to grow, where your employees turn up every day and be like, this is my home. So it's kind of the yin to the yang, but it is a big thing in the market right now that every tenant, commercial broker is trying to figure out, hey, how do we prepare ourselves for the future?
And even for the company that's choosing to have their own space, a place that they can call home, the way that they set that space up, office space just seems to be really evolving. The closed door, behind the scenes closed offices seems to be kind of falling to the wayside.
Long in the past, yeah, that was many years ago. Now it's the very traditional groups that were having private offices, leaning more to the open creative space. They want to be out there in the office, in the main den where all their employees are, and be a part of it. Make sure they're leading, following. So behind the closed doors is a part of yesterday's world. The new world is going through where open, collaborative, creative space that can accommodate for different trends on how their company grows throughout the years. To be flexible in that regard is what we're seeing.
Thank you, Justin, for stopping by. Great information. And if you'd like to connect with Justin and the commercial team over at Boston Realty Advisors for any of your commercial leasing needs, you can check them out at bradvisors.com. Remember to like us below, follow us on Instagram. We have more videos just like this right here on boston.com.